Hello and welcome to the State of RB. I'm your host, Mason Litwinski, joined here today by
Dr. Freytas. Good morning, Mason. Nice to see you.
Doc. How's it going?
Loving life every single day.
Yeah, pleasure to have you on the show here. So just to start the show, we're going to go over like a short little overview of the questions we're going to ask you here. We're just going to talk a little bit about the finals and semester wrap up, support during finals, semester highlights, January dates that maybe we should remember.
Okay.
Holiday traditions for you I'm going to ask you about.
All right.
And then just a final message for you.
Yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's talk, Mason.
So just to start, like, what should students and families like know as we head to finals, like, you know, this year?
Well, first and foremost, to all the students that have finals, take them seriously. Review. You know, I'm proud of the teachers that have prepared review packets, review sessions before, after school. You know, so attend review session, do the review packet. If you prepare yourself, there's no reason why you shouldn't master the content and earn a passing mark. You know, finish any last minute assignments, any last minute unit exams, turn everything in, because once once the semester finishes, we're concluded, we move on to second semester. During final exams, we start Tuesday the 16th through Friday the 19th. That Tuesday is like a 3/4 day, we have 10th period exam from 12:30 to 2, you know, and then students are dismissed, and the other days exams end at 11:30. So people should know that they kind of have half days. Cafeteria will not be open, but we will have the coffee bar. So if you're hungry, you want some energy, you want a muffin or a bagel, the coffee bar will be open. We will have, I believe, NHS tutoring, you know, at some point to help out, you know, our Bulldogs. And again, give your best efforts during final exams, and then we're off to the winter break.
Yeah, winter break. Can we just like break down finals a little bit more? You said Tuesday.
So Tuesday is a 3/4 day, you know, as I characterize it, because we have 10th period final. We start with that from 12:30 to 2. You know, once you're done, you dismiss. If you don't have a final, you're dismissed at 12:30. So to all those seniors with the exemptions who had good attendance, who did well on the ACT, you know, enjoy. You know, you may be out at 12:30. For the rest of our student body, plan to be here until 2 on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know, we have 2 finals a day, and both finals should wrap up by 11:30 a.m.
Okay, all right. So just kind of going into more like finals towards the students, like what resources are available for students who are maybe feeling like a little bit overwhelmed with finals? You know?
Well, first and foremost, our teachers are available. Go to your teacher if you're struggling with content. Go to your teacher if you're struggling, if you feel overwhelmed. Our teachers are understanding human beings, okay? They're still going to expect a lot of you, okay? But they are understanding. They're parents. Many of them have kiddos, okay? So let them know about your concerns. Let them know what you need, and they'll try to accommodate you. Our counselors are available, our social workers, our school psychologists, our entire student services team is also available to help students.
And then you said there's also some tutoring available?
Yeah, so then I believe NHS is going to have a tutoring session soon, you know, after school, and they'll be, you know, they're there to help students, you know, with, you know, I would say with most subjects, you know, and again, the NHS tutors, you know, big shout out to Ms. Tomasek, you know, NHS sponsor, but I mean, these are the top students who do very well in English, math, science, social studies, all over, so you can trust the NHS tutors to help you understand.
Gotcha. So just kind of reflecting on this semester here that's gone by, like, are there kind of like key moments that you like want to remember about the semester, you know, or just stood out to you?
Oh boy, I mean, you know what? Just there's so many great things that have happened, you know, throughout the semester, and really everything comes down to what our students have been able to succeed in. You know, we had a group of students, you know, enter the team-based challenge in the elementary school division, and they won that. You know, they prepared a lesson plan in 3 hours, and they convinced teachers and administrators that they were of quality. So I'm proud of it. So we're preparing our students to be professionals. I mean, that was a big highlight. You know, I'm thinking of athletics, right? We had 2 state qualifiers, you know, in golf, you know, male and female. You know, we had our football team had a great season. Maria, you know, went downstate for swimming, you know, so many things. And then I think of the arts and the performance, our choir performed at the Riverside Holiday Stroll. They performed at the Brookfield Holiday Stroll. You know, I value the impact we've made in the classroom, on the field, and in the community. There's so many great things. This show will have to be longer, Mason. We probably have to be an hour if you want me to say everything.
So kind of looking past after winter break as we come back in January, are there like certain dates that students like should remember of just big events? That
well, the 5th of January, right, the start of second semester, is a late start day.
Oh.
You get to sleep in a little bit, all right? So first period will begin at 8:55. That's important, you know. We understand everyone's coming back from vacation. Everyone's coming back from that holiday schedule, which is more flexible, late nights, family and friends, hopefully. So, you know, what's best for our school community is a late start day. And I think all parties are on board, you know, both students and the adults in the building. So that's important. So make sure you're here on the 5th, late start. And then from there, you know, hit it running. The 5th is the beginning of second semester. So make sure, I always tell students, it's easier to keep up than to catch up. So make sure you stay on top of your schoolwork. If you do little by little, you will not be overwhelmed. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We overwhelm ourselves because we didn't do little by little by little. So take that approach. Accomplish something every day. And when it comes to the big exam, the big unit, the big semester, you should be hopefully better mentally and physically, as I see it.
Yeah. And then, is there any sporting events in January or anything like that?
So in January, you know, I want to say, I think wrestling starts at the end of January. They start getting into like regional conferences, regional playoffs. You know, basketball, I want to say they're mid-season. You know, swimming, they're mid-season. Gymnastics as well. So, I mean, we get into a lot of the conference meets. You know, maybe conference is starting to ramp up. You know, are we going to win conference? Are we a game or two away, right? So that's what January brings, right? It's about mid-season, 3/4 for most sports, you know, so you really see where you're at as far as, do we have a shot at winning conference? Where are we going to be placed for regionals and sectionals, right? You start thinking of seeding. And then I know we have a few holidays off, but we have MLK. I can't remember if it's the 14th or 15th now, that second week of January. I know we have MLK Day, but, and then I just thought about the snow and ski club. I know they have an event in December. I know traditionally they've always gone in January and February as well. Years ago I joined them for the President's Day weekend. I had a blast, you know. Took a couple falls, but still had a good time there. But yeah, those are some of the things that are happening.
And then don't quote me on this, but I think there's like a wrestling senior night, January 20th.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God, we start getting in January. We start getting into all of our senior nights for most sports. Yeah, January is big for senior nights, and I encourage everyone, staff, parents, community, to come and support. Right, senior night traditionally is the seniors' last home meet or last big event. You know, not counting any tournaments or visiting games or anything like that. Yep.
Yeah, so, you know, we've talked a little bit about the school here, so I kind of want to ask you, you know, assuming it's the holiday season here, what are some of like your family traditions for the holidays? You know?
So, we leave the cold for the warm weather. You know, my second home is Central Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. We are 18 minutes away, my home, we're 18 minutes away from Disney World, so we go to Florida, you know, we enjoy the weather. I like seeing alligators, I don't mind them, you know, where we live, there's like a natural preserve and they're around, so I do a lot of walking, you know, with my family. You know, we're right by a park. We play a lot of soccer. You know, come Christmas time, my little boys, I dress up as Santa Claus. They know I'm Santa Claus, but they still want me to do it. So I do it for them. And what's nice is that, you know, I like, oh, Merry Christmas, here's some gifts for you. And they're like, hey, Papa's not here, I'm Santa Claus, you know. But they play along, and I love it. You know, my boys are age 6 and 4. You know, we invite family. I think we stay in our pajamas all day. We put a spread of food, so we eat a lot from breakfast, you know, till dinner. You know, the schedule's out the door. Watch what you want, do what you want, eat what you want, right? It's the holidays. We're on vacation, you know. And then it's nice, you know, I dress as Santa Claus. Sometimes other kiddos in the community, they see me and, you know, they'll approach me, they'll ask for a picture, you know, and I do it. I don't mind little kids, you know, so I'll take a couple pictures with the neighborhood kids, you know, and it makes their day.
Yeah. And then, do you kind of have like a favorite like holiday food maybe then that you can?
Who do I have a favorite holiday food? You know what? We usually around the holidays, I would say I eat more Puerto Rican food. So arroz con gandules, which is Puerto Rican rice with chickpeas. Morcilla, which is Puerto Rican sun. So I maybe get more cultural, I keep it more simple during the school year, with soups and salads, I probably eat, more meat and more carbs, heavier food during the holidays. So I just got to keep an eye. As everyone does, and there's a good Puerto Rican restaurant right by my Florida home, so it's tempting, man. They're like right down the street. So I like supporting local businesses, and then they cook very well. So it's easy for me to go, hey, let me get a tray of this, let me get a tray of that. So more typical foods. And then, and then with my kiddos, we do Christmas cookies, we eat a lot of sweets, we jump in the pool. And we just have a good time, as a family.
Okay, so just kind of wrapping up the show here now, is there kind of a final message you want to have for the RB community as the semester wraps up? I
would say happy holidays to everybody. I know sometimes the holidays is tough for some people, but I would say that I hope that every day at RB you feel loved, cared for, and supported. So to all the students, to all the families, and if we have any events here, you're more than welcome. We'll strive to bring you joy here. I understand everyone has a personal life and their own struggles, but come to RB, and we promise to love you, to care about you, and to support you. For any public event, come spend time with us. You don't need to be, if there's a basketball game, if there's a wrestling meet, come here. Be with the RB community. You do not have to be alone.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show today, Doc. I appreciate it.
You got it, Mason.
I'm your host, Mason Wazlinski. I was joined here today by
Pause up.
Doc Freytas. Thank you for watching.